What if strength isn't what you think it is? We often picture it as unshakable confidence, power, or never showing weakness. But real strength, the kind that truly matters, is quieter, deeper, and often invisible. It's choosing patience over anger, resilience over self-pity, and discipline over fleeting comfort. Sometimes it's simply standing back up when life knocks you down. Today, we're diving into 7 signs you're much stronger than you realize, through the lens of Stoic philosophy. Some may surprise you, some may challenge you, but by the end, you might just see yourself differently. Stay with me. This one's worth your time. Let's begin. 1. You've learned to let go of the past. Let's be honest, letting go of the past is one of the hardest things you'll ever do. It's like standing in front of a fire you've been staring at for years, hypnotized by the glow, even as it burns you. The past, no matter how painful, feels familiar. And familiarity, even when laced with suffering, can be strangely comforting. But here's the Stoic truth. Clinging to the past isn't strength. It's fear disguised as justification. Some people wear their pain like armor, refusing to let go. You've seen it before, the person who turns every conversation into a monologue about something that happened a decade ago. Yeah, I'm fine, but did I tell you about the time Karen stole my idea at work in 2013? I mean, I'm over it, but still. Here's the thing, if you're still bringing it up, you're not over it, and that's okay. But ask yourself, is holding on serving you? Is it helping you grow? Or is it just keeping an old wound open, preventing you from moving forward? I know this struggle firsthand. Years ago, I lost a friendship in the worst way possible. Not a slow fade, but a full-blown emotional fallout. And for years, I replayed it in my mind like a bad movie, dissecting every argument, every misstep, every word I wished I had or hadn't said. I convinced myself that if I could just understand it, just analyze it enough, maybe I could change how it ended. But you know what? While I was tormenting myself, they had already moved on. I was stuck in a story they had stopped reading. Then, one random afternoon, I was scrolling through old photos when I stumbled upon a picture of us. That familiar sting hit me, but instead of spiraling, I asked myself something different. What am I gaining by holding on to this? The answer was clear. Nothing. It wasn't making me wiser. It wasn't making me stronger. It was just taking up space in my mind, rent-free. So I made a choice. I let it go. Not all at once, not easily, but little by little, I stopped replaying the story. I stopped checking their social media, stopped bringing them up in conversations. And you know what? It felt incredible, like I had been carrying a backpack full of bricks I didn't even realize was weighing me down. Here's the deeper truth. Letting go isn't about forgetting or pretending it never happened. It's not about erasing the past. It's about refusing to let it control you. It's standing up and saying, yes, that hurt. Yes, it shaped me. But no, it does not define me. The Stoics teach us that we don't suffer from events themselves, but from our judgments about them. And the longer we hold on to resentment, regret, or bitterness, the more we let those emotions dictate our lives. True strength is choosing peace over pain. And here's the ironic part. When you finally let go, you realize just how much time and energy you wasted clinging to what was already gone. In the years I spent stewing over that broken friendship, I could have learned a new skill, started a business, or at the very least, perfected my pancake recipe. So ask yourself, what are you still holding on to? Is this memory, this grudge, this regret making you wiser, stronger, happier? If not, it's time to set it down, because the road ahead is much easier to walk when you're not dragging the weight of yesterday behind you. 2. You embrace change instead of resisting it. Let's talk about change, the thing we all say we want, but secretly hope never actually arrives. Change is uncomfortable, it's inconvenient. It's that uninvited guest who shows up at your door with a suitcase full of chaos just when you were hoping for a quiet, predictable life. But here's the paradox. If you embrace change instead of resisting it, you've unlocked a kind of strength that most people spend their entire lives running from. Not everyone wants to grow. That's the uncomfortable truth. Some people would rather stay in familiar misery than risk the uncertainty of transformation. They'll say, "This is just who I am," as if it's a badge of honor. But let's be clear. Staying the same isn't strength. It's fear wearing a mask of stubbornness. Growth doesn't happen in the comfort zone. It happens when you have the courage to step into the unknown, even when every part of you wants to cling to what's familiar. I learned this lesson the hard way. A few years ago, I was stuck in a job that looked great on paper, but felt like slow suffocation in real life. The hours were brutal, the work was uninspiring, and the office politics made survivor look like child's play. But I stayed. Why? Because leaving felt terrifying. What if the next job was worse? What if I failed? What if I regretted walking away? So I convinced myself that staying was the mature thing to do, as if enduring unhappiness was some kind of moral high ground. But the truth? I wasn't being practical. I was just scared. Then one day, I hit my breaking point. A soul-crushing meeting made me realize I couldn't do it anymore. So I quit. No plan, no safety net, just me and an overwhelming amount of uncertainty. And let me tell you, the first few months, absolutely terrifying. But then something incredible happened. I started to grow. I discovered passions I didn't even know I had. I learned skills I never imagined needing. I found opportunities that never would have come my way if I had stayed in that job, clinging to a false sense of security. Looking back, I realize that job wasn't stability. It was a cage. And leaving it? That was the first time I understood I had the strength to fly. Here's what Stoicism teaches us about change. It's not about being fearless. It's about being scared, but moving forward anyway. It's about trusting that the discomfort of growth is worth the reward of becoming a better version of yourself. It's understanding that the only constant in life is change, and resisting it is like trying to hold back the tide with a bucket. It's exhausting, pointless, and ultimately futile. And let's be real, resisting change often makes us look ridiculous. Ever had your favorite coffee shop replace your go-to drink with some weird seasonal special, and you acted like the universe was personally attacking you? Yeah, me too. But then you try the new drink, and 9 times out of 10, it's not bad. Sometimes it's even better. So here's my challenge to you. Think about something you're resisting right now. Maybe it's a career shift, a relationship ending, or even something small, like switching to a healthier routine. Ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen if I embrace this change? And more importantly, what's the best that could happen? The strongest people aren't the ones who cling to the past or fight against the inevitable. They're the ones who adapt, evolve, and have the courage to say, bring it on. Because here's the secret about change. It doesn't just break you, it remakes you. And on the other side, you might just find a version of yourself you never even knew was possible. 3. You take responsibility for your life. Let's rip the Band-Aid off. Taking responsibility for your life isn't easy, glamorous, or Instagram quote material. It's uncomfortable, messy, and forces you to face some brutal truths about yourself. But here's the paradox. Owning your life is one of the most powerful and liberating things you can do. Why? Because the moment you stop making excuses, you put yourself back in control. No blaming others, no waiting for the world to change. Just you, your choices, and your next move. But here's where it gets uncomfortable. Not everyone wants to take responsibility. Some people would rather cling to the blame game. My parents never supported me. My boss doesn't recognize my talent. The economy is terrible right now. Sound familiar? Blame feels good because it's easy. It's like handing over the steering wheel and then complaining about the bumpy ride. But here's the harsh truth. If you're constantly blaming others for where you are in life, you're not steering. You're just a passenger. I know because I used to be that passenger. For years, I blamed my circumstances for everything that wasn't going right in my life. I told myself my job was holding me back. The city I lived in was too small, and, on particularly bad days, even the weather got its share of my frustration. But one day, after an especially dramatic self-pity session, I had a realization. Blaming everything else wasn't changing anything. So I made a decision. I took responsibility. And let me tell you, that first step was brutal. I had to admit that I wasn't stuck because of anyone else. I was stuck because I wasn't taking action. I was afraid of failing, so I played it safe. And rather than face that fear, I hid behind excuses. The moment I accepted that truth, everything shifted. I started taking small but meaningful steps, learning new skills, seeking out new opportunities, and most importantly, owning my mistakes instead of running from them. And guess what? I failed. A lot. But I also grew in ways I never imagined. Because when you take responsibility, you stop waiting and start building. But let me be clear. Taking responsibility doesn't mean blaming yourself for everything that's gone wrong. Life throws curveballs. Some things are truly beyond your control, but you do control how you respond. And that's the key. Stoicism teaches us that while we can't dictate everything that happens to us, we always have power over our mindset, our actions, and our next move. Now, let's lighten this up. Ever avoided responsibility, thinking you'd get away with it, only for it to backfire spectacularly? Like leaving the dishes in the sink, hoping someone else will take care of them, only to return to a dried, concrete-like mess that now requires a chisel. Yeah, we've all been there. And guess what? Avoiding responsibility almost always makes things worse. So here's my challenge to you. If you're feeling stuck, ask yourself, what am I waiting for? The perfect moment? A rescue? Because the truth is, no one's coming to save you. You are the hero of your own story. The sooner you pick up the pen and start writing, the sooner you'll realize just how strong you really are. And, hey, if you mess up a chapter or two, that's fine. The best stories always have a few plot twists. 4. You keep going on hard days. Let's be real. The idea of pushing through hard days is way too romanticized. Social media loves to make it look like resilience means waking up early, grabbing a coffee, and powering through your goals, while some dramatic music swells in the background. But in reality, some days, resilience just means dragging yourself out of bed at noon, eating cereal in your pajamas, and taking the day one slow, reluctant step at a time. And you know what? That's still strength. Here's where it gets controversial. Not every day has to be a victory lap. Hustle culture will tell you that even on your worst days, you should be productive, grinding, pushing through. But that's nonsense. Real strength isn't about sprinting when you're exhausted. It's about taking even the smallest step forward, no matter how slow or unsteady. I'll never forget one of my hardest days. Everything went wrong at once. A major project at work collapsed. A personal relationship fell apart. And to top it off, my car broke down on the way home. I sat there, on the side of the road, crying into a crumpled fast food napkin, feeling like life had completely defeated me. Every part of me wanted to check out, to disappear, to just stop trying. But instead, I did something that didn't feel like strength at the time. I went home, ordered pizza, and let myself feel miserable for a while. The next day, I still felt heavy. But I got up. I didn't conquer the world. I didn't suddenly feel amazing. I just showed up. I did what I could manage. And slowly, things started to shift. That's the truth about strength. It's not about pretending everything is fine. It's about persistence. It's about showing up for yourself, even when all you can manage is the bare minimum. It's about understanding that moving forward doesn't always look impressive, but it still counts. And let's be honest. We've all had those moments where life feels so overwhelming that we seriously consider packing up and moving to a remote cabin in the woods. Sounds tempting, right? But then reality kicks in. You'd probably last 5 minutes without Wi-Fi, and suddenly, facing your problems seems like the better option. Here's what you need to remember. Keeping going doesn't mean you have to win the day. Some days, the victory is simply getting through it. And when you do, you're building resilience, proving to yourself that no matter how hard life gets, you can handle it. So if today feels impossibly heavy, listen to this. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have it all figured out. Just take it one step at a time. Because when you look back, you'll realize that the hard days didn't break you. They built you. 5. You've bounced back from mistakes. Let's be honest, bouncing back from mistakes is never as glamorous as people make it seem. It's not some epic phoenix rising from the ashes moment. It's awkward, it's messy, and sometimes it's downright humiliating. You don't rise gracefully. You stumble, trip over your own feet, and occasionally faceplant before you find your balance again. And that's exactly what makes it real. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Not everyone bounces back. Some people cling to their mistakes as if they define them. They replay them on an endless loop, using them as proof that they're unworthy or incapable. They say things like, "I'm just bad at relationships," or "I always mess things up," as if a single failure dictates their entire existence. But here's the thing. Your mistakes are just chapters in your story, not the entire book. And bouncing back doesn't mean pretending they didn't happen. It means refusing to let them keep you down. A few years ago, I made a massive career blunder. I took on a project I wasn't ready for, overpromised, and, surprise, surprise, under-delivered. When it all fell apart, I felt like I had stamped the word failure on my forehead for the whole world to see. The self-doubt? Brutal. I spent weeks obsessing over every misstep, replaying the disaster like a cringe-worthy highlight reel. But then I asked myself a hard question. What now? Was I going to let this one mistake define me, or was I going to use it as a lesson? So I swallowed my pride, owned up to the failure, and reached out to a mentor for advice. They didn't sugarcoat it. They told me exactly where I went wrong, but they also reminded me that mistakes are part of growth. From that point on, I started treating failure differently. Instead of letting it crush me, I used it as a stepping stone. That failed project? It taught me about boundaries, communication, and knowing my limits. More importantly, it gave me the grit to take on bigger challenges, and this time, I crushed them. Here's the deeper truth. Mistakes don't ruin you. Your response to them does. Bouncing back isn't about erasing what happened. It's about moving forward with more wisdom than before. Strength isn't about never messing up. It's about looking at your mess and saying, "All right, how do I clean this up and do better next time?" And let's not take ourselves too seriously. We've all had those oops moments so bad, they're almost funny, like sending an email to the wrong person or tripping in public and pretending it was totally intentional. These moments remind us that no one is perfect, no matter how polished they seem. So if you've ever bounced back from a mistake, big or small, that's strength. You didn't let it define you. You didn't let it keep you down. And the best part? Every mistake you overcome makes you stronger, wiser, and braver than before. If you're still replaying your failures, here's your reminder. Your mistakes are moments, not monuments. Learn from them, laugh if you can, and then let them go. Because the ability to rise again isn't just a skill, it's proof that you're tougher than you think. 6. You're okay with being misunderstood. Let's be real. Being misunderstood sucks. It feels like someone took the core of who you are, flipped it upside down, and added their own inaccurate subtitles. But here's the paradox. If you can be okay with being misunderstood, that's a rare and powerful kind of strength. Why? Because it means you've stopped tying your self-worth to other people's opinions. You know who you are, and you don't need a standing ovation to validate it. Most people, whether they admit it or not, are obsessed with being understood. They bend, twist, and reshape themselves to fit expectations, turning life into some exhausting people-pleasing Olympics. But here's the hard truth. If you spend your life trying to be understood, you will lose yourself in the process. And for what? A fleeting sense of approval from people who might not even matter in the long run. I had to learn this the hard way. In my early 20s, I was that person. I wanted everyone to like me. Co-workers, friends, even random strangers who cut me off in traffic. I would over-explain myself, justify every decision, and apologize for things that didn't even need an apology. Then one day, someone at work accused me of being too ambitious. It was meant as a dig, but instead of shrugging it off, I spiraled. Am I too much? Should I tone it down? And then it hit me. Why was I giving so much energy to someone who didn't even know the full story of who I was? I realized that seeking universal approval was like trying to win a game where the rules kept changing. So I stopped, not caring completely, but no longer needing their validation. And guess what? The world didn't end. Here's the deeper truth. Being okay with being misunderstood isn't about being rude or dismissive. It's about recognizing that your truth doesn't have to align with everyone else's narrative. You're not for everyone, and that's perfectly fine. Strength isn't about convincing people to see you a certain way. It's about standing firm in who you are, even when others don't get it. And let's be honest, sometimes misunderstandings are downright ridiculous. You say, "I prefer cats," and suddenly people think you're some anti-dog hermit who hates joy. It's hilarious how people warp the simplest things through their own filters. But that's just it. People interpret you based on their own lens, not your reality. And that's not your problem to fix. So here's my challenge to you. The next time someone misjudges you, resist the urge to over-explain yourself. Instead, focus on living authentically. One path leads to exhaustion, the other leads to freedom. If you're okay with being misunderstood, It means you've stopped outsourcing your self-worth to other people's limited perspectives. You've accepted that not everyone will see you for who you truly are, and that's not a failure, it's just life. So keep being your unique, complex, and unapologetic self. The right people will understand you, and as for the rest, let them think what they want. You've got better things to do. If this video resonated with you, take a moment, not just to like, share, or subscribe, but to truly recognize the strength within you. Strength isn't always loud or obvious. Sometimes it's just showing up, pushing forward, and choosing growth over comfort. Whether your strength is bold and visible or quiet and unseen, it's real and it matters. And if today felt heavy, remember this: you've made it through every hard day you thought you wouldn't survive. You're stronger than you know, and you don't need anyone's approval to prove it. So keep moving forward, keep being your authentic, resilient, and wonderfully imperfect self, because that's where real power lies.